Hello, y'all. My name is Savannah Dexter. I am 27 years old. I will be 28 on July 10th. I am an artist, a musician to be specific. That is my full-time job. I currently own 3 businesses outside of my music that have to do with my music. I am a very busy woman. I am married. If you don't know that, you do now. I have a bonus baby and just moved my grandparents down with us, currently moving my husband's mother down with us. I have lots going on in the middle of tour and dropping music all at the same time.
Alrighty, so how is tour going and what is it like to work so closely with your husband?
Okay, so tour's amazing. We have been kind of everywhere all over the map this year. It has been such a blessing. We have been immensely blown away with the feedback and the way that people are just showing up to these shows. I love being on stage. I feel like it is home for me. I feel very much myself when I'm up there. I feel like you can kind of tell if you've been to a show that I love it. Overall, like a lot of our shows have been sold out and or almost sold out. That is insane. We're going to markets that we've never been to before, and it just makes me really emotional to see. That being said, I don't want to blame tour for my mental health issues that I was just going through, but things got a little bit dark. I'm a person of habit. I'm a person that likes to be in a routine. And this is the first like big tour we've done that's back to back to back weekends. It has been a lot of pressure on me. Dealing with everything that I already do and, just like my normal life, being a wife, it's just a lot to juggle. And going out of town so often, I mean, you have to understand, I'm like packing a bag for practically a week for myself and my husband. And then we're either flying or driving, wherever it may be, however far away. And then we're staying there from 3 to 7 days at a time. And then I'm coming home. I'm only in town for 2 days trying to get everything that I need to done and then back on the road again. I hit a point where I was really struggling mentally. In order to overcome things, you really have to just be strong mentally because it's all a mental game. I do not like, pills or anything like that. You won't catch me doing that stuff. So I just kind of take it to the head and figure it out. It was probably like a full-on month where I was going insane. Every time I would go to pack, I was having such bad anxiety breakdowns that I was like sobbing my eyes out in my closet. I was very, very sad. I felt extremely heavy. If you've been to a show already, then you've probably heard me talk about it. I kind of bring up how when Gator was on stage for a few shows, I would go to the back and literally just like start crying. That is not something I do. I kind of get like a high when I'm doing a set. So for me to feel that low where I immediately start crying when I get off stage, like I knew something was wrong. So it's been a little bit tough for me. I am better now. It's just a lot. It's a lot for somebody like me who is a homebody. Again, it's nothing on you guys. I love being on stage. I love meeting y'all. It's just a lot. So that's just me being honest about it.
What are your life goals for the next 5 years and did you achieve your life goals from 5 years ago?
My goals for the next 5 years. I want more babies. I want at least 3 more. Gator's trying to make me settle for 2, but I just don't know about that. I definitely want children. I would like to do a bigger tour in bigger stadiums. It would be really cool to win some sort of award, aiming for the stars, but that's how I feel like everything's happened in my life thus far. And just be happy. Just be happy and at peace doing what I love. The businesses that we are starting right now, there's even branches of businesses that are coming off of the ones y'all already know about. I am so excited to share with you guys. And my goal and what would make me really happy in the next 5 years is just to see them flourish. As far as the past 5 years, so I'm really big on writing things down. And I don't think that writing something down makes it happen. I think that the thought that turns into the action, that turns into the movement of writing something down, that turns into the reading it multiple times, that turns into the mindset that puts you where you need to be to accomplish what's written down. I feel like that is absolutely a thing. I really love writing things down, and you can ask Gator. There's been multiple things where I'll write it in my notes, and even if it's not the next day, not the next month, not the next year, it could be 2 years past, and I'll be skimming through my notes and I'll be like, look at this, right? And I'm not saying that it's happened because I wrote it down. I'm just saying that I feel like it helps. So, all the goals that I wrote down for last year, we flew past them. The goals that I had 5 years ago, 1,000% I've accomplished them. And it's really crazy to look back at where I was. I mean, you're talking sleeping on mattresses on the floor, sleeping on couches, having no money for rent, being behind on my car payment, behind on all my bills, having to choose between gas and food, going out and partying 4 or 5 nights a week, drinking a bunch of alcohol. Obviously, I wasn't married. Like, I didn't really have responsibilities. And now I'm running like companies, and I'm literally doing I'm literally have a career that's exactly what I wanted when I was a little girl. I feel like it doesn't get much better than that.
When are you and Upchurch going to fix your beef and do a song together?
Great question. Somebody asked me this on Facebook, and I feel like I get asked this, and I want to give an answer. I don't have any beef with Upchurch. I never did. I'm not going to get into the story because it's unwarranted, but I have zero issue with him. Literally go back and look at how my career started. I literally dissed the girl who he dated because she lied on him and his name, and I disagreed with every single thing about the way that she went about that situation. I've been nothing but, publicly supportive of him, and I rock with him. I mean, to me, him, like Colt Ford, Brantley Gilbert, like they paved the way for country rap, And I know I ventured outside of country rap at this point because I've done pop or country or whatever, but I have nothing but respect for him. There was a lot of people who lied about things and fed him misinformation, and that's cool. I know that, so I wasn't really offended when all that stuff came out on the internet. I was just like, okay, I see exactly what's happened here. And as far as a song with him, I am so happy that somebody asked this, because this is my genuine feelings on this. And this has been my feelings since day one. The main reason why I did not flood this dude asking for a feature, asking to do a song with him, like me and Gator met him in person. He had a show at Dallas Bull, and we literally sat in the camper with him and like talked to him about like the J's we wear and all kinds of stuff. And like I didn't even want to ask him for a picture. Why? Not because I'm nervous or nothing like that. Y'all know me better. I feel like a lot of people have used him. A lot of people have used his name to either build their own careers or launch this song or launch, this brand. And I did not want to even appear like I was doing that. Some people will be like, oh, well, you used his situation, blah, 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 and that launched your. Okay, pause. I was pissed about what the girl did. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I wanted to speak up about, because I've been through that shit as a woman, and I don't think it's right. I never wanted to appear like my end goal was just trying to get a feature from Upchurch and trying to launch my shit with his name. And again, it's no disrespect towards him. I think it would be so dope to work with him. I just feel like literally everybody has taken the same route, and all he keeps getting is shit on by these people. He either finds out they're talking shit, or they're burning him like behind closed doors, or like they're just being fake to him to get clout. And I'm just not about that. Salute to you, Upchurch.
How and why did you decide to forgive your stepmother?
Okay, so first and foremost, forgiveness is more for yourself than it is the other person. When you're walking around with resentment, anger, and unforgiveness, the only person that is affecting is you. The other person might feel the same way, but the chances of that are slim to none. Forgiveness is huge when it comes to getting to a good point in your life or a peaceful point in your life. I tried to mend the situation. And when I say mend the situation, I don't necessarily mean with her or my dad or anything like that. I just mean like within myself. I tried to mend it multiple times and it wasn't working out. And the reason for that is because I was holding on to unforgiveness. I had not forgiven her or the situation or anything that came along with it, and it wasn't getting anywhere. I feel like I started dealing with so many things in my life because I wanted to clear it up. I wanted to be happy and free and positive and stop feeling anger or sadness when I would think of a situation or a person. And all of my parents, including her, because she was a parent figure for me, were terrible situations. Every time I thought about any of them, I was sad, not happy. I was using that as an excuse for, why I was in certain situations or in certain periods of my life. I was constantly falling back on all of the trauma and I wasn't growing from it. One day I was like, I'm like so done with this. Like, I am wasting my time harping on a situation that is so long. I mean, it happened so long ago. And at the end of the day, I could be spending time healing and making myself better and using those situations in a positive way where I can help other people. I did release a certain song, and I've actually done a few about, my past, but I released a certain song about her. And even though it wasn't the most positive one, it was extremely healing for me. I think that was the beginning of it. I'm very passionate and love music, and that's the way that I communicate. And when I recorded that song and I recorded that music video, it was extremely healing for me. I don't think she was too happy about it. I know that it hurt her, and I felt bad about that. But also at the same time, what I want her to know, and I want everyone to know, that song has done more healing than damage. And I haven't even told her that yet. But because of that song, so many people have messaged me, commented me, told me at shows, "Oh, I love your song, Cinderella. Like, you don't understand. It made me mend things with my mom. It made me mend things with my stepmom. It made me mend things with my daughter. It made me mend things with my stepdaughter." Like, so many stories. And I didn't expect it to be healing for other people, but it was. And to me, that's beautiful because, look, it was a situation that her and I both hurt. Really, my family hurt over it. And we lost a lot of years being in each other's lives. And, I put out that song. And again, it's not the most positive light, but it was a situation that was negative that ended up turning into a positive. I've seen my dad and stepmom and sisters multiple times since then, because there was a point where I went like 4 years without seeing them and barely talking to them. And it was just really bad. So right before Gator and I got engaged, don't ask me how he pulled this off or how it happened to be like the perfect scenario, but we literally were going to the big show in Illinois where we got engaged, you guys know. And so we stopped in Missouri, and this was the first time that Gator had met my dad or my stepmom or my sisters or any part of that family. And I was so nervous to go inside. Like, I was just like shaking and I had anxiety, and I was like, okay, like, this is it. This is going to be the moment where I know if I'm over it. And I remember I walked in and it was very awkward at first. It wasn't like it was like peaches and rainbows and butterflies, but I felt zero hatred when I looked at her. No resentment, my anxiety left. I didn't feel heavy. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is it. I'm fine. Like, I'm okay. And then obviously, so she would have came to the show when I got engaged, but she had a wedding shower. Her family is huge and they're super close. So her cousin's daughter was having a wedding shower and she was like planning it and setting it all up. So she had to go to that. And I remember her telling me that trip, she was like, I just get kind of weird or nervous about going to your shows because that song. And I was like, the day that I decided to forgive you and to let all of this go, I stopped performing it. I don't perform it. I don't really share it on social medias. I don't normally talk about it. Not because I don't want people to find it, but out of respect for her. It's only right for me, if we're going to move on from the situation, to actually move on from it. So we talk, we text. I have this new thing where if something reminds me of her, I tell her about it. So if I'm like, when I was planning Cyrus's birthday, I always remember that birthdays were her thing when I lived there. And she would make those days fully about me, right? She loved homemaking the cupcakes or the cake. And so I paid like party planners, like balloon. I mean, they were there setting up everything. But the one thing that I knew I had to do was make the cupcakes. And I did. I sent her a picture. I sent her a long message. It made me cry when she responded to me. It made me sob. She was so happy to know that I was incorporating things that she kind of did for me, if that makes sense. So we text, we talk on the phone. Hopefully I can see them soon because it's been since, my birthday. Yeah, Gator got them down for my birthday and that was really sweet. So it's a learning journey, man. Everybody has different times where they choose to forgive, but it's really important.
Have you ever had to overcome addiction?
You know what's crazy? When my answer to that, if I wasn't thinking deeply, would be no, because I never really struggled with drugs, thank the Lord. I've dabbled, if I'm being honest with you. I've dabbled in a lot of them. I don't have an addictive personality when it comes to that stuff. I could never touch even alcohol ever again in my life and be perfectly happy. I rarely drink. Everyone in my life knows that. I don't smoke green anymore. Used to be like heavy on that. Not, I don't care if you do it. It's not for me. And as far as any of the bigger drugs outside of that, again, I've dabbled in quite a few. I never was interested in what they did to me or for me. And when I live this type of lifestyle, there's just no way. So I've never had to overcome addiction in that sense. But if you get deeper with it, I was addicted to toxicity. I was addicted to chasing after people who treated me like I was worthless just because I felt like I needed validation from that person. I was addicted to being sad all the time and crying and literally staying in environments that I knew were tearing me apart. I was addicted to toxic relationships. I mean, and that goes from family to friends to romantic. Like, I was an addict when it came to that. And I've overcome that for sure. Thank you guys so much for all of the good questions. I genuinely appreciate you guys engaging, and this has been such a fun episode to shoot.